Welcome back to another edition of the All 22 here with ESPN Milwaukee, breaking down the Packers' 33-30 victory over the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, choose some good, some bad. We'll kind of touch on it all, especially with everything that's happened this week with the defense and Jair Alexander, and even with Matt LaFleur talking about how the offense could have been better in the second half. We'll dive into all of that right here in the All 22. You ready, big guy?
Let's do it.
All right, so we start with we're going to start here with a run earlier in the game right away, because the run game was such a big part of what the Packers did, in this game. So
Yep.
I wanted to start with just kind of looking at why maybe they had some success early in this game, especially with the way that Aaron Jones was able to run the football. And here we go. And kind of this early run, this is his second run of the game. He's able to pick up 13 yards, and there's just such a big cutback lane there for him. So just kind of your early thoughts on this.
It's the run looks like it was designed to go to the left. He made a nice cutback. Everything just kind of washed down to the left. It looks like kind of off tackle, dive to the left, and he just sees this big gap there. That's a great job of movement by the offensive line combination. There was no leakage, but a lot of the credit here has to go to Aaron Jones with his eyesight. That's why, at the high school level, when I coached running backs, some of the best advice I got from, Sherm Lewis and Mike Holmgren was never tell a running back where to go. You can give them suggestions, but a coach looking at this from the sideline and a running back living it is two different things. And it's just a great cutback by Aaron Jones. I give him a lot of credit here.
Yeah, I mean, they're able to just kind of seal that. You gave just even get with this, Josiah DeGuara on the back end, I think kind of getting a piece kind of opens up that big hole. And it's one of the reasons why I think if they can figure it out and they can figure out some sort of contract number, that's lower than what it's set to be, just having Aaron Jones around and not having to completely hit the reset button, I think makes a lot of sense next year.
I agree. Even bring him back as, not the feature back, but even a third down back, because he is such a good receiver out of the backfield. He's multifaceted. So I wouldn't say goodbye to Aaron Jones. Obviously, they're going to have to come to some type of an agreement. But this is, it's a nice game by him, probably his best game all year long, and you see what he can do when he's healthy.
So this is later in the game. This is one of the touchdowns. It's unfortunately the play that Dontavian Wicks ended up getting injured on, but a good off-schedule play. Just kind of curious what you see here on what ended up being a great play for the Packers.
Just a balanced front. Looks like it's just cover two zone. It's a great job by him finding a hole. Let me just look back at Jordan Love real quick and see if he had him earlier. Protection's very good. Aaron Jones steps up. My only thing is, who's that in the flat, Gabe?
I'll give you here in a second.
Is that Melton?
So
my only thing is he's got to be looking right there. When you feel things disappear on you, that's just really a double cross type of look.
Mm-hmm.
If that is just a basic cross in behind, but
yeah, that ends up being Dobbs here.
But your crossing routes are way too deep. It worked out, but completely undisciplined, because I can't tell with the numbers, but the guy in the bottom should keep running because it vacates.
Yeah, that's Dobbs. That's Romeo Dobbs, where he could have just kept running to take that vacant space right there. You can kind of see it. As Jordan rolls, you would think that he would just continue to roll with him.
Yeah, it looks like Wicks is just running a basic cross, which he has the option to bring it back out. But see, once again, if I'm nitpicking, Gabe, see the fading on the route?
Yeah.
See Wicks fade away? He's making things way too difficult for himself, because he probably, if he broke it flat, that's the throw. If you watch him, if he comes flat to the line of scrimmage, which Jordan thinks he's going to do, that's probably the throw. But protection's good. A little sloppy on the routes, but the bottom line is they score on the play. It's unfortunate he got hurt. But looking at that play and what I think the concept is, it's got to be a lot cleaner.
So the next one we're going to take a look at here happens later in the ball game. So the Panthers have cut it to a 30-22 ball game, and the Packers are now facing a 3rd and 5. Just trying to, they had already gone 3 and out, led to a touchdown from the Panthers. Now trying to prevent from going a 3 and out on this play. So what ends up happening here, so as I mentioned, it's 3rd and 5. So the first play, just to kind of give the context, Chu, was a first down run to Aaron Jones. He gets 6 yards. They take him out for a breather. You lose 2 yards with Patrick Taylor on the next play, who's now the running back on this play. This ends up being an incomplete pass, another 3 and out, punting back to Carolina, who's got all the momentum. Why did they end up punting after this play? So you got Dobbs coming in motion, up on top.
It's clearly man. This is just what we used to call back in the day 72X shallow cross. Go back one more time, Gabe. It's just a lazy route all the way around. So it's man. So man, you want to go, I don't know who that is down below there.
So you've got
the shallow cross, but he's got to run. He's got to recognize it's man. These guys are not recognizing man quick enough and running. You can't run 3/4 speed against man. You got to hump it. And then Gabe, we've seen this route at the top over the ball before, and that stops. You put it down, but look, now he doesn't come back to the ball. Remember we saw him in the previous games 2-3 years ago, runs a nice route, puts it down, and comes back to be a viable throw. He doesn't do that here. Yeah, and very rarely are you going to go, that's just a swing route up top.
Mm-hmm.
That ball rarely gets thrown to unless there's some kind of trickery to it. It's just, I put this on the shallow cross, which is down below. I can't tell who that is. And Dobbs runs a very lazy route there, and that's why
Dobbs finished up in the middle here. Malik Heath is the guy who's kind of running the other crosser. You've got Kraft and then Bo Melton, which again, I mean, I wonder if some of this is also the personnel here, Chu, because again, going, kind of taking a look at everything that's here. Yeah, Kraft has played well, and you've got Romeo Dobbs, but Melton and Malik Heath aren't guys that you've had to count on all year, and now they're being counted on in a pretty key spot.
This ball against man, Gabe, either goes to Dobbs or Heath, right?
Yeah.
But Heath has to run to open it up to Dobbs. I mean, there was already a guy in the flat, so you don't want the ball to go there, but you want to clear it out for Dobbs. I put this on Dobbs, just an incredibly lazy route here. You got to put it down and then come back to 10 around that yard line, and you're still getting the first down.
So it ends up. I think Love just kind of sees this. This looks like more of a throwaway to anything to me. Like maybe I've got a chance at completing this ball, but there's really nothing there. And he just kind of throws it to where maybe Bo Melton can chase it down, but chances are he's not going to. And you end up having to punt it away.
Here's your problem, because they did blitz on that play. And as you get earlier or later into the year, I mean, me and you have seen this play just with the 5 plays we do during this segment at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So I think with a young team, you can't have a ton of plays in. He's going back to the well one too many times. So if I'm LaFleur, you got to shelve this for a little while. Team's seen it too much on 3rd down.
Yeah. So then we kind of take a look, kind of going forward here, because there ends up being I went just a little too far, because you had an opportunity then to get off the field. Coming up here in just a little bit, if you're the Packers. It was 3rd and 2 for the Carolina Panthers. So it wasn't a great punt on the previous play. You're facing a 3rd and 2 with Bryce Young here. And ultimately he ends up hitting the big play to DJ Chark up the left sideline. There ends up being a penalty on top of it. So what happened here confusion-wise for the Packers defense that allowed DJ Chark to get this open and really jumpstart the drive that eventually tied it for the Carolina Panthers?
Okay, to me, it just looks like they're playing man underneath. I don't know whether this is just what we call cover 7, man underneath, and then they're bracketing the inside receiver.
And it looks like Jair's playing zone. He kind of lets his guy go and then tries to chase it down here. because everybody else is manning up and he's going zone, and then he ends up having to try to drift back, and Chark is open, and then that ends up being, I mean, we've slowed it down here a little bit, so it doesn't look as bad, but real time, it was kind of bang, bang, and Anthony Johnson ends up getting the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, my guess is from what I'm seeing here, because they're bracketing here. I mean, to me, down below, it looks like cover 7 is some version of man, but it's definitely too deep. But to me, it's Jair. Cover 2, he has the flat, but the flat's already taken there by that player.
Yeah, that's Keyshawn Nixon.
So everyone else seems to be playing cover 7 and bracketing underneath, which is man, too deep. Cover 2 is Jair is responsible for he's the flat defender. So I don't know if he didn't get the call or he didn't understand the call, but that's, in my belief, that's clearly Jair's guy. But on 3rd and 2, Gabe, this is not a coverage I'm running in 3rd and 2. Okay. Because, I mean, it's 3rd and 2. You think they're going to go deep with the ball? I would play something a little more aggressive, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of see the pass rush here. There's a little bit of a stunt here from Rashawn Gary, but gets picked up. Super clean pocket.
Yeah. It's just a very conservative. I'm calling that, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. I'm just 3rd and 2 is when you want to be aggressive, especially at this point in the game. So I think Jair didn't get the call, and Joe Barry's just being Joe Barry.
Yeah. So the final play I want to take a look at ends up being one that makes you breathe, I guess, a little bit easier, but because you missed an extra point earlier, maybe you're not breathing quite as easy. But after they had gotten the big play already to Romeo Doubs, okay, now you're in field goal range. You got the 2-minute, coming out of the 2-minute warning here. Yeah, you're looking at the 50-plus yard field goal. This makes it a more manageable 34-yard field goal because of this play to Tucker Kraft, who's lined up in line on the right side.
Just simple trips. That's just why stick. I mean, it's a big play, and he's a young guy, but not a great route. He lucked out there, and it's a total field play. It's more of a basketball play. I used to run this. This was kind of my bread and butter. He just kind of, see how he breaks it down way too much?
Sure.
I mean, that corner or the linebacker could have made the play. He's just got to play faster, play quicker, cut the chops down, and make it more like a stop route, because they did get lucky here. Watch how he breaks it down at the top of the route. Well, that causes him to drive on the route, you see? Even 49 is like slow to the ball. As soon as he starts chopping, that guy should be coming downhill. But they got away with one there. That's a staple of the tight end position. He'll get better at it. But just needs to be a little cleaner route. But in the end, it's a great play. See, like Gabe right there, I'd give him a 0. Improper technique, but the play worked out fine.
Well, I'm not sure if this was proper technique, but earlier this week, we celebrated the 30-year anniversary of this play, Chewy. You were a part of the team. You played in this game. What are you thinking as this is happening on the sideline?
Number one, it was about 20 below 0. So I was sitting on the nice warm benches, and then I heard the crowd go crazy. So then I ran over to the sideline and saw this and was just amazed on Leroy Butler's lack of vertical leap.
What are you thinking when Reggie's deciding? What are you thinking at this moment? I guess maybe you didn't see it, but like, how would the coaches handle this? I mean, I guess he's Reggie White, right? Like he's one of the best defenders in NFL history who's just getting tackled and ends up flipping it to Leroy.
I can promise you, none of the coaches said a word to Reggie. Reggie could do whatever he wanted, but it was great awareness, and I think that was 93.
It was 1993.
All I remember, and that's the game, Gabe, I told you about, where Howie Long was still playing for the Raiders. He was just flying off the ball, and we couldn't figure out why, because the field was frozen, and everyone else was kind of being cautious with their footing. So it was a sunny day, TV timeout, and we look over, and the sun is glistening off of Howie Long's cleats. He was wearing baseball spikes. So we were all started yelling at the officials, telling them that he was wearing baseball spikes. They made Howie Long go back into the locker room and put football cleats on. and then he was human.
Do you remember your stat line from that game?
I believe I had 2 catches for a whopping 13 yards.
Yeah, 1 catch, 6 yards. Pretty close.
Okay, I was halfway.
It was before.
It was a boot. It was a boot. I was so cautious with my footing. It was the second year. I actually gained 3 and fell forward 3, Gabe.
Boy.
Those stats make it sound a little better than they were.
Yeah, little yak yardage there for you. Half your yards came in yak that game. Chew, always appreciate it, but we'll do it again next week. Hopefully some good plays to break down Packers Vikings.
All right, see you, buddy.